coast into this, small moon that, has some atmosphere, or go to this big, small drifting ship that you see. And, they all go there. It's this mothership, and it's got these AI robots in there. And one of the robots comes out, it's got a disintegration ray. And, yeah. And everybody's joking around and fucking around. And I gave people ample warning that this is a dangerous motherfucker. I even gave them... I gave them an NPC that got evaporated. And, I roll in the open. So when I roll your number, okay, well, I randomly picked your number by the dice roll, and I evaporated this motherfucker. One shot, no save. I'm with a bunch of D&D players, and they're like, oh, well, fuck. And I go, yeah, so you can start making another character while we continue on. And they took the fucking robots a lot more seriously. They started, the joke stopped when I evaporated Tony.
Yeah, that's usually the clue that you need to stop messing around. Fuck around and find out, and that is the lesson.
It wasn't shit. I was like, I'm not telling you no damage. You evaporate, just fall to dust. And so I let him on. So they were like, what happened? And the players were talking. They're like, well, what the fuck happened? And I go, oh, yeah, you just saw him kind of go off into some smoke there. And so they're thinking maybe he got teleported or something, because surely the Dungeon Master wouldn't put a disintegration ray in the game. And so, I let him on for a while thinking that maybe he's really alive somewhere and doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
But no, he was dead. He was dead as shit. There was no afterlife in the game. You're dead.
Yeah, the one guy they found the recently dead body. I actually made up a thing that looked like text pages. Right. The guy had his journal. It took him half the session, like an hour and a half, before somebody noticed. Hey, the date on this is 190 years after what it's supposed to be.
Oh.
No.
Oh, good point. It is. Well, what about this? I go, good question. You don't know. Well, what about this? Yeah, that's a good question, too. Yeah, they did find some more tubes that looked like the Aliens 3, where Sigourney Weaver sees like half Sigourneys, half aliens.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, guys, looks like you guys were next to us up on the experimenting table when something happened, and all these people are dead. So,
that's good stuff.
They're like, Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I recently, in fact, as early as yesterday, I discovered Old School Essentials role-playing game, which
sounds familiar.
It is basically a remake of old D&D Basic and Expert and Advanced First Edition. But the nice thing about it is that they didn't just copy and paste verbatim. They actually went through and cleaned up all the sections where it was contradictory or it was unclear, because there was a lot of that. If you remember those days, there was a lot of that. But they fixed all that. And I don't know. I'm kind of fed up with Wizards of the Coast and their crap. And so, for D&D 5th edition, this year has been just an absolute dumper in the toilet. Everything.
Dragonlance, though, buddy. It might be the last D&D thing I play, but I'm playing the Dragonlance adventure.
Well, be prepared, because it is reviewing terribly, and everybody who has played Dragonlance in the past, I'm personally, I've never been a fan of Dragonlance, but the reviews that I'm reading are people that have played it in the past, as I have, and the common thread is that this is not the Dragonlance. This is not the Kryn that you remember. This is a reimagined Kryn, and the one guy said that it felt like, old Dragonlance, that was, Heroes of the Lance, and this is everybody else. So
See, I'll try it out. I've got me a sorceress, a lunar sorceress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the white robes when I get there. And, the DM's telling us, hey, man, divine magic, fuck it. You just can write that shit off. And so whatever. We're going real low magic. And I'm fine with that. I'll enjoy the game even if it's fucked up. I can give it a bad review and still enjoy the game.
Right.
But I'm a Dragonlance fanatic. I love some fucking Dragonlance, but it's nostalgic for me. I mean,
right.
That was the shit. I mean, we used to go hike up on the top of mountains with all our D&D shit in backpacks.
Yes.
And play on the top of mountain, wherever. It's like a state park, just outside.
We used to do that in high school as well.
Yeah, but we're in the Bible Belt, so it was frowned upon. And so I went to go buy dice. I asked for dice in the bookstore. The dude told me I was going to hell, and I was like, well, I hope they have s'mores there, because I make a mean s'more. And he didn't know what the fuck to say to that. I didn't give a shit.
You just need to ask him if he sells Satan's math rocks. Those are the. But yeah, it seems like the bulk of 5th edition, and of course this is the case because D&D has a built-in player base, but the bulk of what they're pushing has been on nostalgia. And
sure,
there's a lot of rules in D&D, or in 5th edition specifically, that I just find asinine. And
I hate 5th edition.
Yeah,
not as bad as 4th.
No,
it's a good gateway drug. You start them out. Hey kids, let's play some D&D. And then maybe some classic dungeon crawler.
My current ire in 5th edition is is twofold. The first hatred that I have, and this actually goes all the way back to 3rd edition, is attacks of opportunity. So the entire idea of attacks of opportunity is dumb, because of course you're taking attacks of opportunity. You're doing it all the time. You do it on your turn. It shouldn't even be brought up. It's kind of a foregone conclusion that you're going to be doing.
Well, they want you to disengage.
That is number 2. And that is number 2, is the disengage action. It is the dumbest thing I have ever heard of in my life. There is nothing that you can do in melee combat that is going to allow you to just get away. You could, if they had delineated it by saying you have to make a shove or a trip or even some kind of debilitating attack of some kind, then you can, as part of the disengage action, then of course you can run away. They don't. Instead, the way it reads in the rules as written is, okay, I'm leaving, and you turn around and you run away, and your opponent is just like, okay.
Yeah, that's turn-based combat.
It's dumb.
The way to combat that is with the Greyhawk Initiative rule set. You declare the shit you're going to do at the beginning of your turn, and then you roll initiative every round.
Oh,
yeah, you roll...
Those are old school, yeah.
Yeah, you roll different dice by what you want to do. Like, if you just want to sit and shoot your bow, you roll a d4, But if you want to cast a spell, you roll a d8. If you want to move, put a d6 on top of all that shit. You just keep adding the die to your initiative, and the lowest goes first.
Yep.
Yeah, so, the guy just standing still, shooting the bow, and not going to use any reactions, because if you're going to use your reaction, you got to put that d6 in your initiative roll. You have to declare, okay, I'm going to use my reaction if it comes up. So it makes a different thing, because if you're wanting to do a chase scene, okay, well, if I'm just going to run, I'm going to use that d6. But if I'm going to swing at them when I'm going after the run of them, well, now I have to add the kind of weapon that might, that to the thing,
Right.
Yeah, and so it makes chase scenes a lot more drawn out. People talk before the round with the Greyhawk initiative. It changes the game. It changes the fight. It really makes the game a little longer on the fights. But
I've been going through the old school essentials player handbook, and I've kind of scanned through the referee's guidebook, and it's funny because there's a lot of stuff in there that I had forgotten about. But like, for instance, if you're playing a druid at level 12, you cannot take level 12 yet, because there are only 9 level 12 druids ever. And so for you to take level 12, you have to go find one of these level 12 druids and challenge them. And it could be combat, but it doesn't have to be fatal. And if you win, then you get to take their spot as a level 12 druid. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm level 12 now. But so that's one of the things I forgot about. But there's a whole bunch in there, and I'm going through it. And I remember when I was, 6, 7, 8, pretty much up to the age of 10, and Advanced came out, and we were going through Advanced rules, and we were like, oh my God, this is so complicated. Well, come to find out, it's really not complicated. It's a lot easier and simpler to pick up once they clean up all of the contradictions and shit. And so I'm reading through this and I'm like, holy crap, compared to the way we play D&D now, this is super fast, super simple, light on the rules. And one of the things that I've noticed is that one of the problems with 5th edition is they keep trying to fix the problems that they themselves have created by pouring more rules on top of the rules that they added. And the reality is that the rules that they added are what caused the problem in the first place. If they'd have gotten rid of 3/4 of the extraneous bullshit, 5e would run a ton better. So, yeah. So I'm going back to this old school essentials, and I'm like, man, first edition AD&D was fantastic. So my home group, our next campaign, we're going to do a homebrew, or my plan is we're going to do a homebrew campaign that I'm creating, or a campaign setting and world and all of that, and we're going to do AD&D first edition.
Right on. We've played a lot. Every con that we have a guy that plays AD&D or box set, red box D&D, and he runs an all day long table with figurines and shit, and you can just come and go as you please. It's pretty fun. He does that.
Nice.
Yeah. If you're really fed up with 5e, but you know that you have to conform to 5e, or play with it sometimes, I strongly encourage you to check out the Greyhawk Initiative thing and just maybe just try it on a one shot and see what you think. Yeah. Some people get frustrated and just roll all the fucking dice and go, I'm going to go last, but I want to do whatever the fuck I want to do after I watch it. And that's fine, but other people, if you get everybody involved and talking about, okay, I'm going to cast Magic Missile, but I got a D8. It might suck. Or, and the other guy's talking about, well, I'm swinging the ball, but God, that's a D12. It might not go very quick.
Right. Yeah, I know. Like I said, my Saturday game will maintain 5th edition for now, as long as they're invested in it. But yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. I'm sick of all the crap with WotC. Like I said, they keep trying to fix stuff by continuing to do everything that they did to ruin it in the first place. But that is
that and exhaustion. Every time you hit 0 hit points, a level of exhaustion cleans a lot of the game up. It stops the yo-yo effect.
That's true. So, all of that is neither here nor there. We are here for Pirates of Drinax. If you were watching last week, we'll be picking up where we left off. Before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes beard, butter, balm, oil, and co-wash. They also have deodorants and a spray-on cologne line, and each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Tonight I am wearing the Hero, which is a cologne scent-based beard balm. But they have many different styles and scents that you may find useful. If you're a first-time purchaser, you can go to fablebeardco.com and you can create an account, and they have a buy one get one free option. And so put 2 beard oils into your cart and you'll get that second one for free. If you are a fan of our our Wednesday night Traveler games, we do have a website, the Obsidian Portal, and the adventure log is written in the manner of news articles from Traveler News Service. These travelers are taking more and more of a front page approach, and so keep looking at that for stuff that, most of it is stuff that either happens on the fringes of this live game, or it might be, sometimes it's stuff that has nothing to really do with the current game, and it is a hint of things to possibly come, or things that are happening elsewhere. If you like the content, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up, and we hope you enjoy. So last week you guys did the you had agreed to help Baroness Lux, and she told you that the other 2 barons, Baron Fero and Baron Halley, on Cordan, are conspiring against her. And so she said that she wants to essentially cause some strife between these 2 barons, and she sent you to do an assassination of Josephus Agraki, his ne'er-do-well tax assessor that nobody likes, and do it in a town that is contested between Fero and Halley. And you did that. Shi ripped off a shot and blew his arm off, and Agraki eventually bled out. It wasn't a clean kill, but it got the job done. And of course the town was immediately surrounded and invaded by Baron Halley's paramilitary forces, who are essentially highly trained thugs. They are better equipped than Baron Fero's militiamen, who are basically, bubbas with a badge. And you guys have made your way out and made your way back to Baroness Lux's fortress. And it is now about a week later. You guys are just chilling out in Baroness's fortress, eating all her food, drinking all her wine. But news reports are telling you that the assassination has actually kind of done what you guys set out to do, or at least set the wheels in motion. The people of various towns on this contested border are basically rising up, protesting. There's been a couple of small riots, and the general feeling with these protesters is that they're glad Agraki's dead. Screw that guy. He was corrupt. He stole people's tax money. He was just, not well liked. And so Halley has kind of moved his paramilitary troops in, but he's not going in force, and Fero is doing the same, but they're kind of taking a stand back and try to do what they can to keep the peace without actually firing any shots, but the situation is getting rather ugly in these towns. So the other piece of information that you guys have come across is that, meanwhile, in another star system, in Marduk specifically, the pirates that were captured by Captain Sanistaw of the Sincerity are in a jail. They're in a holding cell at Marduk Down. And Sanistaw being a... Now, you guys would know this, that Imperial commander, or Imperial captains, or, whoever's out on the fringes here and is currently in charge, as far as piracy goes, the captains of ships for the Imperial Navy have pretty much huge latitude in how they want to act. They are the arm of the law, especially out, here where you guys are. The Trojan Reach is the frontier. Actually, it's actually I would say it's that step beyond the frontier. You are at the corner of Podunk and nowhere. And so most of these Imperial captains, they're like, our word is law, let's just deal with this and be done with it. And there's no repercussion for that. I mean, that's their job. Sanistaw has taken a different route, and he has sent a courier ship back to the naval base at Realgar. And essentially, he is wanting to double check, his procedures and make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed before he decides to do what is legally his right and just execute these guys as pirates. Now, as far as the trial sounded a little weird to you, in that not only was Captain Sanistaw the prosecutor, he was also the judge. So you don't know what the evidence was that was presented. You don't know. But these guys were found guilty and are sitting in a holding cell. They'll be there for 35 weeks, 32 weeks. They're going to be there a while. So, and if I remember, let's see here. I thought I had a map. Not that map. Perhaps I do not. Oh wait, here we go.
We've got a pretty heavy pirate guy as a contact here in the system, don't we? The guy that was cleared our names and all that?
Oh, well, he's not going to be able to get them out.
That's not what I'm asking. I was wanting to know if perhaps he could get us some information on the captain that is in charge of... I mean, if dude's got a daughter and we kidnap the daughter, I'm pretty sure that we can do a trade.
Well, you don't know anything about this guy's family. I mean...
That's why I'm wanting to see if we can pay this guy that has all the connections that can get Imperial levels lowered and all that. If he could get me a dossier on this captain, where he's from, his family, maybe his history. Is he addicted to heroin and hiding it? Whatever.
Well, I mean, that would be a good idea, except for the fact that it's probably not possible, and I'm going to show you why. Hold on here. I will show you why. So the biggest issue that you have to deal with is time, and time and distance, which are essentially the two of the same thing for you guys. And like I said, you are at the middle of absolute nowhere.
saying by the time that we travel anywhere that we could affect anything he cares about, our people would be dead.
Right. Well, or I mean, not necessarily dead yet, but definitely, sucking up time that could be used elsewhere.
Right. I gotcha. It was an idea.
So and here is going to be this map. So this is your current area. You are, of course, on Cordan. And Marduk's up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 weeks of just pure travel time. You're probably looking at 6 weeks, 7 weeks of travel time with refueling stops. So, I mean, that's 7 weeks just for you to travel from Cordan to Marduk, which is, that gives you plenty of time. Now, Rilgar isn't even on this map. It is way, way, way up Coreward, north of Marduk. So, you've got plenty of time if you wanted to go to Marduk. The bigger issue, of course, if you wanted to try to find out some background on this Captain Sanistaw, and develop some kind of plan, the information that Rafe Zentuli would have to get would come from somewhere inside of Imperial space. Not sure. I mean, maybe that information would be available at New Moscow. Probably not. It's probably going to have to come from a naval base such as maybe on Bastion, possibly, but more likely Rilgar. So, they're 30 plus weeks out as well. So you run into a case of not having enough time to get the information you need to put a plan into action. So so it's up to you. Like I said, you're only about 7 weeks away from Marduk. You could theoretically you could stay here and finish doing your work for Baroness Lux, and probably still have more than enough time, if you wanted to go to Marduk and work out a way to liberate your captured pirates.
How well stocked is Sanistaw? I mean, he's got how many Marines, and I'm just curious, like how big is his group? So
what you know about Sanistaw? Let's see here. It is. So this is a standard patrol corvette. That's what you know that the Sincerity is. You know that it has 8 Marines aboard. 4 gunners, a medic, 2 engineers, astrogator, and pilot. And then, of course, the captain. And the captain may actually be doubling as the astrogator. So it's not a big ship. And you know that, from what you can gather, it's out here by itself.
Oh, I think we could definitely do some damage to that fucker. I mean, we've got more thrust, and we've got a longer range with the barbette. I mean, in theory, we could kite this patrol corvette. We might have to play with missiles, but missiles are real slow when we start talking about 50,000 kilometer distance is what we would want to maintain.
I like missiles.
Wait, are our friends on the ship? Or not?
No, they're being held in a jail cell on the planet at Marduk Downport.
All right, just making sure.
I mean, if he's hunting us, it ought to be pretty easy to engage him. I mean, but we have a superior ship, in my opinion.
Well, he's bigger. He's got more missiles. He's got more pulse lasers, and
he's as big.
Yeah, the downside is, in his one launch, he can launch 3 missiles at you. You don't have anything on the Harrier that can shoot down missiles, because those can only be. You can only use pulse lasers or beam lasers as point defense guns. The particle beam barbette isn't going to function that way.
I could jump outside and shoot the PGMP.
yes, that valiant volunteer.
Well, we do have a triple rack now, so we can do a triple turret missile rack as well. So we're closer, but yeah, the pulse lasers are.
Yeah, but the barbettes could be nailing that corvette, and I mean, in theory, we could put missiles at their missiles, and or just break the lock that they try to get on us. The 50. I mean, if we stay at long range, they will be hard pressed to do a lot. They'd have to hit us with missiles, but missiles wouldn't come, in one turn or two. It would take. They have a slow time on getting to us.
Yeah, at very long range, it's gonna, or even distant range, it's gonna take them 3 or 4 turns or 3 or 4 rounds for those missiles to catch you. So you're literally looking at 18 to 20 minutes for a missile to get to you.
Yeah, we're fairly well matched here. I think actually, I think that they have some superior attack capability, but we have more maneuverability and better computers on board.
Yeah.
We also don't have to stay engaged. We can just kind of sneak up on them and say, "Hi, surprise," and then zoom off. I mean, we've got a stealth ship. We don't have to stay so they can.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, they went that way, and then okay, well they're dealing with that damage, but that's still draining resources and whatever, and then hey, how you doing? Here's another whack right up your backside, and then we're disappearing again. If we get anywhere near anything that had lots of stuff we could jump behind and lose them that way, they'd be hard pressed. They don't have no superior. They've just got military grade sensors. I mean, We have a stealth ship, and they don't really have these really badass sensors. They'd have to have a badass sensor operator to play with us for any extent, in my opinion.
When did we lose track of Shenanigans?
Shenanigans is still docked on the floating palace of Drinax.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure.
With 37 living lavishly on board, I believe.
Yes.
Or whatever that number is.
Yes.
19, 37,
Yeah, your charge 37 is still on Drinax as well.
Yeah, hopefully Shenanigans is teaching 37 sign language so we can communicate.
Well, I thought what we wanted to do was drop her off at Marduk eventually, because they have an anti-tech kind of society. They do pretty well for themselves, but they don't use computers and stuff, and she's probably doesn't want to see another one if possible.
Alright. Well, we stand a real better chance on landing on Marduk and Shenanigans than we do. I don't know. The Anubis is a sneaky ship.
So the other side to this too is that Sanista, and you don't know what the status has been of that, but Sanistaw, when he captured the pirates for the Free Sparrow, which is it was a Type A3 fast trader, they were leaving Marduk, but they had landed. They didn't land at the downport. They landed at your little, at the little village. People that you befriended when you were on Marduk, essentially natives that aren't supposed to exist. And so Sanistaw is, of course, thinking that those are they are considered to be aiding and abetting, and so there was some discussion on whether or not he was going to send his Marines in. So you don't know what the status of that village is.
Man.
Yeah, we need to get over there.
Yeah. Like, if we don't defend
Do we want
them.
to finish this first, or do we want to drop and go?
No, I mean, if you this has a decent payout on Cordan as well. I mean, that being that you're going to be given a castle and essentially a town with serfs paying you, taxes. So, whichever you could technically leave, go take care of business on Marduk, and come back. And I'm sure that the situation as far as the agitators in towns on Cordan, that's probably not going to get better.
Would you guys like to check out Marduk then? Or finish up here? Is there votes either way?
So I feel like staying here is an unknown time.
Possibly,
we don't
yes.
know how long it's going to take for things, reach their climax here, and I don't know that we want to sit and wait an unknown amount of time.
Can we take a week here and perhaps do one or maybe two quick missions to, just try to get them fighting, and really get them engaged?
Yeah, you could definitely take another week and see if you can't tip the scales, because I mean, right now with these protests and whatnot that are going on in all these towns, the situation is right on that knife's edge. If either side does something wrong, then it's going to explode. They're sitting on a powder keg and they're smoking.
Well,
Okay, so we need a plan to instigate.
Yeah, like if we stole one of Baron, an armored vehicle of one Baron, and just like went along ravishing a town or something, or steal their armored vehicle and roll up in there and drop a building or two, and then say some deep message on the loudspeaker, support Baron Yach, or or we'll give you more of this. Declare your loyalty to us or die, and then take over a town in the name of one of the barons.
Or you don't even. I mean, you don't technically have to even be that. You don't have to be that overt about it. I mean, as an example, in 2020, look at what happened right here in the Portland area. Those protesters went apeshit, like literally over the edge, and all it took was some outside influence to basically convince them to start trying to light federal buildings on fire. So
I'm totally down with starting riots in different towns.
There you go.
Fun.
There you go.
Just provoke everybody to go tear up some shit and burn shit down.
Well, I'll do my part by controlling the internet locally.
You'll get on Twitter. It's
Start some shit, yeah. That'll be
I could probably make some good bots.
Yeah, that's true.
We could just take some flash grenades and throw them into the crowd at the wrong time, and they would start a riot right then.
Yep, that would That would really do the job.
So we need some
weapons
black.
to these rioters.
You want to hand out weapons to the rioters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to get.
Yeah, what they did with the Portland thing, there was like pallets of bricks that just showed up.
Yeah.
They're like, where are these from? Yeah.
Or rifles with ammo.
Yeah, that works better, but I mean, you can have. It's easier to have an excuse for a pallet of brick.
Yeah, especially with the long one. Might be a little hard to smuggle in some weapons.
We could lead all the people to make a revolution against all three of the barons and just take this town as something of the people.
So Ox, that's not a half bad idea. I will allow you to make either a streetwise or broker check. Okay,
111.
that is pretty good.
We just need to get a couple cases and some ammo. Hopefully, no serial numbers, or or actually better, if we could find somebody black marketing one guy's weapons, sell that to the other guy's civilians.
So
or not sell it, but give it to them.
If while you're doing that, maybe I could try to do some communications, espionage, and maybe learn the voices of some of their commanders. And then just as you guys start arming it, I'll send out broadcasts to one of the people fronting like I'm one of their commanders, telling them that there's a riot going on, and they need to go respond with extreme prejudice.
So, Ox, you're able to secure 7 auto pistols, each with 2 full magazines, and 6 rifles, each with 2 full magazines.
Yeah, try and get contacts, on the people that are really stirred up, or whoever's leading in a couple of these villages. Hopefully on either side of those. Now we got the Harrier, so these guys don't have that much high tech. What's the chance of the Harrier actually crossing through their space, with all our stealth stuff on, and not being detected, to be able to transport weapons behind the lines? The
stealth stuff for the Harrier is going to work great out in space, not so much over the surface of the planet, because it can't. It's you can still see it. So.
Okay.
And most of the stealth stuff, like the holographic hull, I mean, if you were really good with the art end of things, I mean, you could set Rexar to it, I'm sure. That, maybe you could come up with a good camo pattern, but it's still a big ship that's going to show up on sensors. The other half of the stealth, of course, being that it hides radiation from jump signatures.
Well, I mean, it's not like we have a whole bunch of, we're not bringing huge pallets of weapons. We only have a few.
Now, the most of this, the biggest part of this unrest is happening in the town of Ellaton, and Ellaton is it's contested for a couple of reasons. The main one being that it is built into the crook of a river. And so it has a lot of river trade that goes up and down. And the argument from Baron Halley is that yes, you could use a grab raft. Or a raft, yeah. So the argument from Baron Halley is that the division line between his and Pharaoh's territory, the river should be the divisional line, and it is not. And so because of that, the divisional line kind of goes right through the middle of Ellaton, and there's a lot of or has been discussion on, well, whose town does this belong to? And so there is a lot of argument about where tax goes and whatnot. And it seems that Ellaton is right now the biggest powder keg as far as these agitators, especially around the docks of this river. power to the people, unionize,
Oh yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, try and find out, I mean, I'm sure the other side's trying to do it too, but try and find out who the head agitator is and see if there's a way to sneak the stuff to him.
So, Beth, you said that you wanted to try to browse the local internet.
Yeah. Let's see what I can see.
Make a it's your choice. You can either make a investigate plus intellect check, or you can make an electronics computers plus intellect or education check. Your choice. Okay. So you get, with a 14, you get a couple of pieces of information off of the local network here on. I say local. It's the planet. So the information that you get is that the first thing is that it seems that cooler heads are attempting to prevail on both sides. So Halley's paramilitary, like I said, they're trying to diffuse the situation. They've got a hands-off approach. Fero's militiamen are kind of hands-off, but for a different reason. I mean, one, they don't want this to blow up into a full-blown riot, and number two, it is brutally obvious to everybody involved that Fero's militiamen are just simply not as well trained or equipped. There are fewer of Halley's paramilitary, but the guns that they have are, tech level 9 stuff versus tech level 5 stuff.
So the lady that I'm working for, can I spread a rumor that she's terminally ill, so that the other two sides think that they can get the whole thing if they defeat the other?
Yeah, go ahead and make a deception plus your choice, either charm or intellect. Okay, so you start spreading around this.
Percentage of idiots believe me based on my roll.
Well,
garbage and 5 people would probably still think
about the same percentage of people that think that Cordan is actually a flat world, which is higher than it should be. So, yeah, you start to get pick up some traction. So you're saying that she's got a terminal illness. Are you going to get specific about what you heard that she's got, or?
I guess it'll be like a story about I personally witnessed her being this sick, and it's so horrible because she's the greatest. You know what I mean? That kind of yeah.
If they actually had elections on this planet, I would totally vote for her. And
yeah, exactly. Isn't it tragic? What will the planet do when she's gone? That kind of
Think about the children. Well, she did donate, those Tech 9 hospitals complete with children's wards. So, think about the children is actually appropriate in this case. So yeah, it starts to gain some traction, and people are openly discussing this on, Spacebook. Spacebook and Shitter are openly discussing, Baroness Lux's wasting disease. They're just referring to it as the wasting disease.
Okay, So, Ting and Ox, what I want you to do is hang out with the two opposing groups and say, hey, I have security experience, like say you've been a bouncer or something before, and offer to help for free. And then that way you can figure out who the most unstable people in the group are, and then you can offer them weapons. You don't have to talk to the leader. They'll probably turn you down. But if you find somebody who's like, doesn't have good grip on reality, or they're really angry or something, they'll probably take it.
Shit, I think that Beth's had experience in psyops. That it's a little scary how well you're doing this.
That's what the CIA literally does.
Could you give me some flavored water that was laced with a lot of meth?
Sure, yeah. You got plenty of meth. Don't worry, that's easy to make.
Yeah, I'm serious. If I went and as we were, if we gave them like some bottled water or anything while they were out protesting, and it had like, I don't know, meth or some...
You have something better than that. You have, if you remember, you purchased a case of Mirage liquor.
Oh,
yeah, you could incept them if you wanted to.
Right?
I want to set aside one bottle of the liquor because I think it would help for medicinal purposes for Qingxi later on. It just seems like clarity and dreams and all that, and the psychic go juice. I'm thinking if she goes off the deep end, maybe some time alone on a nice little island with that bottle, she could dream the troubles away or something. This is what I don't know. I might be wrong in that.
No, I mean, Qingxi clearly has an issue going on. We haven't come to the culmination of all of that yet, but we are on that roller coaster.
Yeah, so I want to set aside one bottle just in case that, that might be the key that unlocks her brain to not kill us all in our sleep. So, yeah.
Yeah?
With the rest of them, hell yeah, I'll take.
Qingxi would never hurt Rexar. We all know that.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, she...
And if she does, he invites the challenge.
Yeah. Well, she can be tough,
So Ting and Ox, you want them to go basically undercover as rabble rousers and find the weakest link, not really the weakest link, the most unstable link in these groups, and start handing them guns. That is. I'm so proud. What does Beth, Keith, and Rexar plan to do? Are you going to the town as well? What are you going to do?
I have to pick a side. Maybe we should split up. And the flaw is that they can always use more security. And if somebody's volunteering, then everybody will look at them as being like a really good person. So we could all kind of scope it out.
Yeah, we could.
I say Rexar, Ox, and Ox go together, and then do you think you, me, and Ting?
Sure.
I think that's a good team.
So one of the things, Rexar will stand out a little bit, and one of the things about the planet Cordan, in fact, one of the ways that Baroness Lux herself kind of gained so much favor with the people is that the first thing that she did is that she backed her forces and mercenaries to kick the Aslan Ihati off of the world. Now, this, of course,
nice.
Well, right, but, well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not. It's really unclear as to how bad things really were on Cordan. Cordan was a vassal planet to Arunasir, and if you remember Arunasir, you guys helped a prince escape capture and cleared his name because he had a failed Ihati assault on Arunasir, which kind of led to an uprising where all of these Ihati were either kicked off the planet or were incorporated into the human-controlled world that Arunasir is now. And so, because Cordan was a vassal planet, that kind of broke up that relationship a little bit. But a similar thing happened here. So Rexar will stand out, and it didn't happen so long ago that people will have forgotten. And of course, it's the Trojan Reach. So Rexar should be used to walking into a town and having frightened villagers staring and pointing, because you never know if an Aslan comes walking into town. I mean, is there more Aslan? Are they going to be taking over parts of the town? What's going to happen? So he kind of sticks out.
So he's more useful as like poison. So he like shows allegiance or an affinity for one side, and then everybody gets upset at that side because of that, right? Or I guess they come and bust heads and say he's from the other guys.
That would be, that would be most effective.
Okay. So before we hand out the weapons, he could, well, I don't know, Rexar, do you want to bust some heads, or you want to, like, troll the internet? What do you want to do?
What's an internet?
Right.
Alright. But how are we going to make them think it was the other guys and not, like, a random Ihati thing?
Because they're going to believe what they want to believe. All you got to do is tell it to them correctly.
That is... Truer words have never been spoken.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
putting
true.
on a collar or a leash.
Good.
If I'm not going with the propaganda crowd, then I will send the bottles -1 of that case. I'll send him with Ox, so he can get them, a good spicing.
I have +3 to stealth, so I could just follow from the shadows.
Sure.
That's pretty, yeah, absolutely.
Stay on Overwatch with the PGMP.
Oh, hell yeah, you could.
Or, I have my rifle.
You know what would really blow their minds? If the leader is in mortal danger and Rexar swoops to save him and just leaves, it would blow their minds. They'd have no
Yeah.
think at that point.
I'm gonna find my D6. My cats were playing with it a second ago. They kidnapped them.
We'll have Rexar and Stealth to play it by ear, I suppose.
Okay.
It's useful in a lot of ways.
So it sounds like you're all kind of planning to be somewhere around this area.
So I'll team up with Ox since we made asymmetrical, and then he can take the other. I don't remember the guys' names, unfortunately. I totally forgot.
We'll go with the guy that starts with an F.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
Baron Halley and Baron Fero.
Yeah, me and Keith will be pro-Pharaoh people. Because he is truly the only way to enlightenment.
Alright. And I like Howie's down to earth, demeanor. I don't
Is there any specific person you want Rexar shadowing?
I'm not sure. We're all kind of in this. These towns are pretty small, so if anything's gonna go down, it's gonna go down right over here. So, where you want to hide, I guess.
Where would it all be going down, you said?
Right in the middle of town, right? Like, I'd imagine here-ish.
How about Rexar hides on top of the building north of the well. How tall is that building?
North of the well, this would be a 2-story building.
Yeah, top of that building.
So this is a map of the docks district of this river. This is not actually the main river. This is a small tributary that comes in off the river where they dock some of the boats and ship things out. It's more of a slough, really. And so this area, when you come in, and not pictured here, is the throngs of people scattered throughout. And I didn't put the throngs of people because that just seems extraneous. But here, that's better. And so, hold on here. I need one of these guys. Sorry, I thought I was 100% prepared, but evidently I'm like so excited for turkey tomorrow that I forgot it. And then I need one of these guys. And that should really cover me. Whoops. So, like I said, these docks, there's a road that goes across this bridge to the west. To the east, this road continues on into more of like an industrial district for this town. And for Beth, Keith, and Rexar, if you've ever had the misfortune of driving through Longview, this is kind of what I imagine this crappy little town is like. So this this entire area is filled with throngs of people that are they're all kinds of pissed off. It's hard to really say specifically what they're pissed off about, but a common thread that that the four of you down on the street level, are able to pick up is that these guys are generally two things. One, almost all of them, like I would say probably a good 80% of the people that you listen to or talk to on the street are happy that that Josephus Agraki is dead. This guy was a piece of shit. They don't want anything to do with him, and they're just sorry that it didn't hurt more and last longer. They're carrying signs and occasionally throwing beer bottles, that kind of thing. And throughout the town, you do see a couple of individuals. One here. over here. Get on the right page. There we go. So there are Pharaoh's militia here, kind of on the east side of this crowd, kind of guarding the line going into the industrial district, which east is most definitely in more Pharaoh's territory, while this part and the western part of the river is Halley's territory. They're kind of guarding each side, but both sides are definitely they're in a guarded, ready to act stance, but they are trying to keep weapons down. They are all armed with batons, as well as stun grenades, and then their usual equipment, which in the case of in the case of Pharaoh's men is rifles, and in Halley's men they are submachine guns. So then the question is, Beth, what are you, well, I guess Keith and Ting, you guys make a, so how are you going about trying to ingratiate yourself into the crowd?
I think I'm going to walk up to one guy and just kind of, if there's not a, we're just talking about the crowd itself here, I'll just kind of walk up to the biggest guy there, and I just want to kind of approach him, and I was going to try to maybe instigate him and a few of his other guys to go take on some of those Halley's paramilitary there.
Okay. Hold on here.
That's what I was going to do. Maybe tell him I'll help you,
Okay, so you're just going to try and find the biggest guy.
Yeah.
Make a investigate check. Investigate plus intellect check.
Yes. This will just be plus one, but I was happy to see I had investigate. That's a 6.
Okay, so you do indeed find the biggest guy there, but he seems like he's a pretty quiet individual. He's got a sign saying something about taxation without representation, and down with unfair taxes, but he's not like chanting or anything like that. But this guy's big. He's like 6'4", weighs like 300 pounds, and he's just kind of marching around with his picket sign.
I'm gonna look for the
team doesn't. Yeah, well, I should have went that way, but I figure you'll get the rowdy and I'll get the big, and if one of us gets the thing started. It gets started. I've got to ride with my low roll, or the rolls don't matter. So I'm gonna go up to the big guy and see if I can just make it work. He's not moving around, so he's easy to get up to.
Oh yeah. He every once in a while, somebody will say something, he'll yell out like yeah, and then that's like the most aggressive that he seems to get.
I'll say, I'll go up and I'll go. You about it making a change for true freedom?
Well, yeah, we've been downtrodden for too long.
Yeah, well, you know, Haley's men are a little more technically savvy than Fero's guys over here. You know, what do you think about that?
He says, that's a good question. What does he say about that? I don't know if he even really considered that. Yeah, he did consider it. He says, well, yeah, but at least with Fero's men, you know, they're not going to brutalize us. I mean, look at the way those guys are dressed. And I mean, he's not entirely wrong. You know, it is easy for you to discern who Fero's militia are. They're wearing all black, and they have respirators and like a black face mask, so you can't really see who they are. But aside from that, they're not wearing any armor. Then there's Halley's paramilitary guards. They're wearing flak jackets. They're carrying these two up here are carrying laser carbines, and this guy has a ram grenade launcher. And so this guy, he's like, you know, look at them. They're ready to start a war. They're going to take over this whole planet if we're not careful.
Yeah, how about you and me remove them?
I'm just here to protest. The people's voice needs to be heard.
Yeah, I've got something that they can hear, you know. How about this? How about you go stand next to that bush over there and just throw this modified rock I have, and I'll kind of point to my jacket, and, you know, I'll be like, I've got a frag grenade. If you throw it, I'll run up there and I'll take care of the rest.
Gotta make a persuasion plus your choice either. Make a persuasion plus charm check.
Alright. Let's see. Persuasion. 1. Charm is a 9. So plus 2. Alright. It's a 7.
He gets this look of abject horror on his face, and he's like, he starts to like back away from you. He's like, grenades, holy shit! What, you know? I don't know what you're on about, man. Oh my god, Keith.
That's true freedom, man. Fireworks.
Keith, what are you wanting to do?
Yeah, I'm going to take a very similar approach, but I'm going to walk up to the rowdiest guy, the one who seems the most, like, just drunk and crazy, and maybe has a group of people hanging out with him that are all just kind of being rowdy.
Okay. Hold on here. Good, make a investigate plus intellect check.
12.
Wow. Okay. You, with pinpoint laser accuracy, find the drunkest, rowdiest individual, and this guy, he occasionally, you know, throws a beer bottle or picks up a rock and throws it. And the first thing that you notice is that he doesn't seem to care who he's throwing the rocks at. He sometimes throws them at the paramilitary guys, other times he throws them at the militia. It seems like he's just pissed off to be pissed off at all sides. Nobody's his friend.
Nice. So I'm gonna walk up to him and just strike up a conversation. What are you? Who are you supporting here tonight? Are you excited?
The people should be free.
Yeah, I agree. The people need freedom at this point. This is ridiculous. We need to We need to rise up.
Yeah, that's right, brother. We need to rise up and teach these people, teach these people in government that we're the ones who do all the work and that we're the citizens. Now,
Right.
for Rexar and Ting, Cordan is a is a very strange planet. So when you arrive at Cordan, the ship's computer tells you it's got a Class A starport, which is true. It does have a Class A starport. It is mostly there in order to facilitate trade with the Imperium. But it tells you that there's only like 2,000. There's only like a population of 2,000 people on this planet, which is completely wrong. In reality, the only people that are counted as citizens are the people that are living inside the baronial fortresses. The people that are in the towns and whatnot aren't even considered citizens, and so they're not counted for the census of this world. So all of these people are taxed and whatnot, but they're not considered citizens. They don't technically have any rights under the baronial law.
And that's why we need to march to Haley's castle, her compound, and tell her that this is fucked up and we're not standing for it no more. No fucking more. We're gonna go right through her people and right up fucking to her thing, and we're gonna fucking shit in her shower.
Give the Baron an upper decker. So Keith, this guy is all about freedom to the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's his big thing.
So,
You gonna give him a grenade?
I may have something that may be able to help you a little bit here. I have a handful. I have 2 stun grenades that I wanted to offer this man, and so I'm going to very carefully
Yes.
give them to him and run away.
Make a persuasion plus charm check, and you can make that with a boon.
All right.
I mean, this guy's probably got an intellect of like 4, so.
That is 11.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, thank you, brother, and you start to back away, and he immediately tucks them into his jacket, and this guy's wearing a members only jacket. He's wearing a members only jacket. He tucks him into his jacket, and he starts to shoulder his way through the crowd, trying to get into a better position to actually use these 2 toys that you just gave him.
Awesome.
I see Ting
Definitely backing
offering,
where he's going.
I see Ting offering someone a frag, and I go, Ting, yeah, take this, it has a bit more kick, and I toss him onto him a plasma grenade.
Oh shit!
I'll take that plasma grenade and I'll start heading through this alleyway here.
Okay.
Our last one, so be nice and make it count and make it spectacular. Thank you.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I want to start kind of heading about this way over here.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I hear that stun grenade go off, I'm just gonna kind of round the corner and I'm gonna throw this plasma grenade over there next to these Haley troops and see how it all shakes out.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's my last one.
So before all this happens, Ox, what are you doing?
So the Haley guys are the ones that have the bad rep, right?
Yeah, Baron Halley, he doesn't have a very good reputation. Agraki was his tax assessor, so, and not only that, but these guys are clearly armed more for, they look like they're ready for war.
Okay. Is there a liquor store around here or a tavern?
Oh yeah, in fact, I would say
What are the?
This is probably a small tavern.
Okay, so the people are drinking beer mostly, I would guess.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Keystone.
so tavern. Is there any like hard liquor there that they drink?
Oh yeah.
I'd like to buy a couple bottles of that.
Okay.
Go outside and doctor it with Ting's special liquid.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go share it with people. I'm telling them, hey, have a drink, but be careful. Those Haley guys took a guy behind that alley over there, and I think they're beating him up. Can't trust those Haley guys. Those guys are vicious.
Okay, so first,
while they're drinking the juice, let's give them something to dream about.
So if you're buying a couple of bottles of hooch, it depends on how much you want to spend. But I will say it's anywhere from 25 to 50 credits.
Well, I don't want to be like handing out Glenlivet 18-year-old whiskey to the
right
crowd, because that's going to look suspicious.
Right, you want to go night train; it'll go further.
Yeah, I want to get worker class whiskey, because I'm one of the workers. And like I said, I'm just saying, hey, be careful. Those guys are beating people up.
Okay, go ahead and make a deception plus. It's your choice: deception plus intellect or charm.
We'll take intellect. And answer is a 9.
Okay. So, yeah, you pass out a couple of bottles, and they readily accept, and they're like, power to the people, thank you, you're a good man, brother. And they start drinking up.
Like I said, I'm spreading rumors about those evil paramilitary guys over there.
Right, and they're taking a couple of swigs of liquid courage and pointing, over towards this area where they think that this may be happening, and they are, kind of goading themselves up to actually confront whoever's over there.
Well, I'm sure after they have some of this dream juice, they'll be seeing that over there.
Oh, more than
That's
likely.
where they saw it happen.
Beth, what are you doing?
I want to try and talk to the Halley paramilitary people.
Okay.
I want to tell them that I was there the day that Josephus got assassinated.
Okay.
And that the shot rang out, and then I saw someone fly away off of a building. I've never seen anything like it. So I know they look like they aren't armed and that they don't have any tech over there, but I wouldn't be so sure based on what happened that day. So it's really good that you guys came so well prepared.
Okay. Make a make a deception plus. I think in this case, go ahead and make a deception plus charm check.
No, plus 1. Come on. 7.
Okay. They're like, thank you for your report, ma'am.
Okay.
And it is about that moment.
I suck off over here.
It is about that moment that Mr. Genius. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Throws his stun grenade. Except he's really inept. He did not play professional ball, and the stun grenade lands in the well and explodes. Stun grenade. Has a blast of 9 meters. Oh yeah, perfect.
Wait, why is there a well like next to the river? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You probably don't want to be. You probably don't want to have to skim the diesel fuel off the surface of the water. But.
Oh. Alright, never mind.
So the stun grenade lands. Oh yeah. Wait. And these two guys will take half damage. So it lands in this well and explodes. The windows in the tavern and in the small shipping and receiving office are shattered. They and in this warehouse, the windows blow out. These two guys are gonna take. Ooh, man. Well, this guy is unconscious. And this guy is unconscious. And pretty much the crowd goes ape. And here... there we go. Get my mousey mouse to work. Who am I? Keith, Rexar, Ting, Ox, Beth. There we go. Alright, so these guys... these guys... Ew, that's terrible. You guys can all roll initiative.
What does a roll of a 4 get me? Is that a 1?
That would be a -4 because you're shooting. You're shooting for 8.
I did get 0.
Okay.
I ended up getting 0 as well.
So between Beth and Rexar, which of you wants to go first?
I'm fine with waiting.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay. And Ox, what is your dexterity?
My dex is 9.
Okay. Well, I will give it to you.
But I can't roll dice for shit.
Yeah, I'm not rolling real great today either. So you hear the explosion go off, Keith. What would you like to do? I suppose I should throw something up here for the crowd. Let me find a rabble rouser. There we go. Townsfolk. Here's a laborer. He's a really big laborer. And he's going to represent all of the townsfolk. Mostly just for initiative purposes. Okay. So, Keith, what would you like to do?
I want to encourage the Pharaoh militia to join the fray a little bit here, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that exactly. I'm thinking maybe there needs to be some...
Hey, Holy, did you see that those guys throw that?
Yeah.
Because, like, people did, like, everybody see the guy throw the thing, or were people kind of doing their own shit and then went, oh my god, when the thing went off?
That is a very good question. Hold on here. I need to figure out what my rabble-rousers look like here. Oh, they're probably 777s. Make them completely average in, literally every way. So, let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they saw one of these guys. I mean, there was, like, no deception involved. This guy, like, reached into his members-only jacket, pulled out a stun grenade, yanked the pin with his teeth, probably lost one, because that always looks good in the movies, and then throws the grenade terribly and kind of trips in the process. And so everybody saw this.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, so I'm gonna take some cover. Let's see. Probably go right around here.
Okay.
And prepare myself. I'll probably pull out whatever. I think I have a woodpecker.
Yep, woodpecker auto pistol.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll pull that out and be ready, I guess, for whoever is going to come at us.
Okay, so Keith's armed. Ting, what would you like to do?
Well, it looks like they only got one guy left, and I doubt he's really radioed in yet. God, if he could be removed from the equation, that would be really great. So
hey, you have something that could remove that one specific guy from the equation?
Yeah, but I'm thinking there's going to be something more powerful rolling up that I want to throw that at. Because I think I just want to throw a stun grenade right now.
Okay.
I got that selection from that ship. So yeah, let's throw a stun grenade. I'm right here. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of lob it over in this general direction, and then I'm going to kind of duck back over this way a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of throw it over that way and then kind of move up that alleyway.
Okay.
It won't be seen.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. So you want a dex check, is that correct?
So it would be... Yeah, it would be a athletics dex check. If you don't have athletics dex, then it would just be your dex.
Got a 9.
Okay.
I don't have the stun grenade. How many dice is it?
That is still successful. Hold on just a second.
All right.
I'm looking. There it is. Here we go. Oof. Sorry, just trying to figure out how to put this in. That's
okay.
not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, so you drop a stun grenade right where you want it, and stun grenade is 3D.
Thank you.
Oof. Okay. And this guy drops. As well as several of the rabble-rousers in this area, they all go down as well.
I will yell out, "Get their guns! They're taking our jobs! Taking our jobs, get them guns! Get them!"
Beth, what would you like to do now that all of this has started to transpire?
I'm taking cover because this is gonna suck. Let's see. Let's get back here.
I moved back some, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can move back.
So, are those guys dead or unconscious?
They are unconscious.
So Rexar could swoop in if he wants and pick one up and carry it off into the sunset and make things even more confusing for everybody if he so chooses.
Pick up a guy and just take off running with him?
Yeah, they'll be like, "What? Aslan?" Yeah, they'll be really...
So you're taking cover around the backside of a shipping office. Rexar, what would you like to do?
When I'm not helping people with questions and requests, I like to write songs and stories.
Sorry, my I don't know. I think my Alexa's trying to come on to me.
I'm gonna leap down here at 6 meters.
Okay.
Grab this guy and just drag him towards the alley.
Okay. So so you're dragging this guy into the alley. We'll say that you can probably get to about here with this unconscious guy.
And when I land, I roar.
Okay. The Pharaoh militia is really nervous about this whole situation. They
Just assuming that we have a grav raft right outside, the air raft right outside of town.
Yeah, I can actually throw it up here. To be real honest, I forgot about it.
Right. I kind of call it Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah, because it's yeah,
it's a clunker.
Yeah, yes, it is. That's a little big. There you go. There's your air raft.
Thank you.
Yep. So the Pharaoh militia, this guy is going to... No, he can't move there. But he's going to move up here. This guy is going to move here. And this guy's just going to be gung-ho. Oh my god, these guys are terrible. Okay, so... He misses. He misses. Oh, there we go. For 3D. And he shoots a townsperson and wings them. They're not, you know, they're not in danger of dying as of yet, but they are pretty grievously wounded. This guy here doesn't seem like he was really aiming for anybody in particular. He just shoots into the crowd. The townsfolk rabble-rousers start to lose their minds, and they pick up guns from these two guys. That's a hit. What does this do? Oh, that's not good. And then the last guy. He only got a 3 because he does not have heavy weapons, and so he is using a ram grenade launcher untrained and shoots a grenade into the crowd and does another 3D of stun damage to several of the people in the crowd. Ox, things are going quite ridiculous. What would you like to do?
So I take it some of these crowd folk are leaving stage right? Or are they all still milling around?
The crowd at this point has gone kind of ballistic. Some of the people seem like they're doing everything they can to get away, especially since a couple of stun grenades have knocked out a number of them. Right. But you know, there are people that are crawling away. Some people are almost to the point of getting trampled. Other people, the larger majority of the crowd is picking up rocks, chunks of concrete, beer bottles, and throwing them. Now one of the member of the crowd has picked up a laser carbine and fired it at the Pharaoh militiamen, and another one has fired another grenade from a grenade launcher. The crowd is getting ready, it seems like, to completely erupt.
Okay. Well, I would like to move over here and get out of this guy's sight.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those machine pistols I got?
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody in the crowd that looks like he's got some spunk, and hey, one of the Pharaoh guys dropped this. I'll hand him the machine. I don't know how to use it.
So you're going to give him an auto pistol?
I sure as hell am.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep heading south because I'm not going to be one of the ones that shoot him.
Okay.
I'm just an innocent crowd folk leaving here. I'm looking to buy a farm in this area.
Okay.
It worked last time. But another weapon in the hand of the populace is another weapon for freedom.
Yeah, these are just regular old 9mm, standard handguns.
That's fine. It shouldn't take too much shooting going towards the Fero militia before they're already shooting back, so.
That is true. Now, I do have a question about...
Do we have the equivalent of a cell phone?
You do.
Can I take cell phone video to put up on the net to show the Fero guy shooting into the crowd?
Oh, you most certainly can.
I'll also be doing some of that then.
Oh yeah.
This needs to be documented so people can know what's going on.
These ones are designed to deal non-lethal damage and capacity on a living target. Damage is only deducted from endurance, taking into account any protection. If the target's endurance is reduced to 0, the target will be incapacitated for a number of rounds by which the damage exceeded their endurance. Okay. So these guys got another 3 rounds that they are unconscious. Okay.
They're gonna wake up naked and disarmed and...
Well, that's if the crowd allows them to wake up at all.
Great.
Yeah. So, those guys are unconscious. And at the end of this bridge... you see a Socrates field car come in. Or it's coming towards the town.
See, that's why I'm not involved in the shooting. I'll give the gun to somebody else.
Right? Yes. So a Socrates field car. These things actually look kind of cool. They are... well, they look cooler than they really are, to be honest. But did I... yes. Maybe. There it is. So this is a Socrates field car. They basically took a Buick, armored it, and put a turret on top. Actually, I guess it's more like a Cadillac that's armored with a medium autocannon. And it is rolling towards the bridge on the east side of town. Keith, what would you like to do?
I think I'm going to radio the captain and say, I think it's time for us to get out of here. We've done our work.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have adequately started the beginnings of a riot.
Yeah. We've done what I expected. So let's meet you guys on the opposite side of the river. We'll get on the air raft and pick you up.
Okay.
I'm gonna get on the air.
Okay, so do you have flyer graph?
I do not.
Okay, so
I'm in a passenger seat waiting for somebody else.
Okay.
Sir will join me.
Okay. You're starting it, turning on the tunes. Ting, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna go jump in the driver's seat of the air raft.
Okay. You can do that.
So,
I gotcha.
the air raft. Yeah, and I don't know if I can actually drive the air raft this round or not. But
I would say movement was a minor action. Let's see. How far were you at? Oh, yeah. You can move to the air raft and climb in, and then next round you should be able to lift off.
Wonderful.
We don't want to take off without Rexar anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to pull up right there is all I was going to do anyway. But I could begin
Yeah.
firing that bad boy up.
Yeah, your action is starting up the jalopy. Beth, what would you like to do? So Keith has radioed you to say, maybe we ought to get out of Dodge now that we've mission accomplished, more or less.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow this river away from all this shit that's happening, because I don't think all of us piling into the same car is like a good look. So I don't mind walking for a while to avoid that.
Okay. So Beth essentially, you can easily, I would say, if you used all three minor actions, that's going to put you south off the map. And so Beth, I'm going to go for a walk. I had nothing to do with what's going on behind me. So Beth is hoofing it away. Rexar, what are you going to do?
Drag the guy
I'll
to
be
the
here,
aircraft and
ready
throw
to
him in.
answer your questions and tell jokes about cats.
Oh my god.
Turning sentient, Chris. Watch out.
I know, right? I'll be right here, waiting for your questions and telling jokes about cats. You're getting a little too close to home. I'm sorry, Rexar, what were you going to do?
Drag the guy with me to the air raft.
Okay, so you're dragging a guy. I would say that you could probably move 12 meters. Let's see here. Shit, you can make it.
He's coming with us.
So that was all three of your minor actions, and you drag this poor bastard with you to the air raft. Okay, so the air raft.
It's gonna look like that military is gonna be working with the Aslans.
Oh man. Okay, the Fero militia. Are probably going to have a problem. Okay. Again, only one of them hits. This guy again, he shoots the same guy, the same townsperson that he shot before and kills him. The Socrates field car. Let's see. Oops. Its speed. At its fastest speed, it is slow. Ah. No, that's not. There we go. So it can definitely move here. And it opens fire on the crowd. And it hits. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want this. So one thing I will say for for D20's dice roller, if you got to roll a fistful of dice, it makes life really easy. Oh yeah. So 25 points of damage are doled out across the crowd as this autocannon opens up on full auto. across the crowd. People's arms are blown off. People are killed, maimed. It's a good time. The townsfolk are now running to the west towards Pharaoh's men, even though Pharaoh's men are armed and are shooting at them as well. But not before they light this building on fire. Ox, what are you doing?
Time to leave. Heading south along the river.
Okay, so you can move 18 meters. Yep, that'll put you off the map. There we go.
Our job here is done.
Okay.
We've struck a blow for freedom. Or something.
Yeah, or something. They're still unconscious. Keith, are you doing anything while you're sitting in the passenger seat?
I guess if there's any way I can get any video of this going on, I will also upload that.
Okay, so you're uploading video to Spacebook, and yeah, you're just gonna stoke those fires. Go ahead and make a electronics comms check. Comms plus your choice, either intellect or education.
13.
Oh yeah, you've got 5 bars and you are uploading video.
Yay!
Ting, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna look back at the guy, and kind of, might want to take his armor off, and I know what kind of underwear I'm gonna wear on our first date. Done. And then I'm gonna drive off. I'm gonna stay low. Let's keep buildings in between me and in the general scene of the chaos. I'm gonna kind of head off to the northwest and do a long, lazy, low altitude loop around the river to pick up my companions.
Okay, go ahead and make a flyer grav plus dex check.
Six.
Oh boy.
Maybe it was safer to walk.
It might have been. So, you go to take off in this beater air raft, and you're trying to keep it low, but some of the grav lifters are malfunctioning, and you end up kind of crashing through this building, or the corner of this building, and it kind of comes to a rest right here, and the engine dies. You...
I was not headed in that direction. I was going to the northwest.
Oh, I'm sorry, northwest. So yeah, you do make it across the river. We'll say that, and you kind of crash into this tree. And you were staying low. Does that ignore? Yeah, it doesn't matter. So the air raft takes 5 points of damage, which I want to say that it's. I want to say its armor will take that. Let's double check that though. Oh yeah. So its front armor is dented up, but like I said, it's stalled out.
Okay. Well, I can't do much about it till next turn.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the downside of that.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Beth, you are off the map, and in the distance you can hear not only the autocannon from the Socrates, but you also hear that something has seemed to have made a loud crash sound, or crunching sound.
That'll just help me get more energy to keep going away from all of this.
Okay. Rexar, you're in the back of this air raft. What are you doing with your little prisoner there?
According to airnow.gov,
Alexa, shut up. God.
I take his weapons and tie him up.
Okay, so you are tying up the prisoner, probably with his own gun belt.
Yeah.
The Pharaoh militia move further into the crowd and are now just open fire on the crowd. They're not even aiming. The Socrates field car can... Well, the Socrates... Oh, yeah. This guy is blown into tiny chunks all over the crowd. The Socrates just aims right for him and destroys him with the autocannon. And the townsfolk
Go wild.
Well, the townsfolk attempt to engage these two idiots and are in the process of a melee. And one of them pulls out a auto pistol. Who knows how he got that? And opens fire, but misses.
Damn it.
Ox, are you just continuing to run away?
I'm out of here.
Okay. These guys are pretty much done. Keith, you're a mechanic and an engineer. Do you want to try to help with the air raft?
Is there any damage to the internal workings of the air raft, or is it does it seem it's still working?
It seems like it's working as... It seems to be working as well as it was working before you showed up. It's mostly cosmetic damage. The armor on the front end is, of course, dented. But this thing's a piece of junk that nobody's really given any love to. So you might be able to climb under the hood and see if you can get her restarted.
Yeah, I could start it back up. That sounds like a good plan.
Go ahead and make a mechanic plus intellect or education check.
Okay. 12.
Okay, so yeah, Keith's he's like, oh, well, here's the problem. The quantum flux capacitor is clogging up the carburetor, and so he fixes that. And you guys are able to get the air raft started again. And at this point, Ting is able to lift off, and I mean, you guys are in radio contact with Beth and the rest, or Beth and Ox, and you are able to go and pick up Beth and Ox as they are running south along the river. And as you are pulling away on the radio, because the air raft has an entertainment system, you're hearing news reports of massive unrest in Ellaton, and that several people have been killed, numerous injuries. Both Baron Halley and Baron Fero are sending in troops to try and quell the unrest. That this is a terrible situation. the city, the town of Ellaton has exploded into riots. And as you're pulling out, it's getting later in the evening, and looking over your shoulder, you can see numerous fires and smoke coming up out of this town. I mean, the 5 of you basically started a war.
Wow, we did it, team.
Mission accomplished, indeed.
Let's go pick up our check.
Yeah, so now pay me.
Wait, you mean our team caused mass unrest and discontent? Wow.
I know, shocked, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to return the plasma grenade.
To be fair, the unrest was already there. We just sparked it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, good job.
Take my grenade back.
Very good job, team. So, we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. And we will pick up with the following day of what has happened with Ellaton and what the terrible consequences of this situation and fallout is going to be.
All right, cool. See you then.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
You too.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you Friday.
Yep. See you Friday.